That is Nancy Pelosi's office, and that is a man with a giant knife on his waist. And some top government officials are calling for Trump to be impeached, saying that this is all his fault. But we'll talk about that in just a minute. Guys, we have to talk about this, but if you're here watching this video, you're here for stimulus updates and unemployment updates for those payment dates. Well, I'm going to jump into that in just a minute. I'm going to cover payment dates for every single state and when you should be receiving that unemployment boost, as well as how to track your stimulus check. Yes, that portal is now open to track your check. We're also going to do an update on those $2,000 stimulus checks, which Biden promised to send out immediately now that Democrats won both of those Georgia Senate seats. But before I get into it, guys, please like this video. Please subscribe. You know I post updates almost daily. And don't forget to click the link in the description of this video to get your free stocks valued up to $1,600. Okay, guys, let's jump right into it. Before I get into stimulus, I'm just going to cover exactly what's going on in D.C. right now. Just to recap, most of you know, Democrats won both of those seats in the Senate yesterday. Of course, Trump had a scheduled rally/protest, whatever you want to call it, today in D.C., the same day when Congress was set to certify the election results and certify the fact that Biden won this election. Of course, that is generally just a formality. The election results have already been certified at the state level, and this is more of a ceremonious type of situation. Of course, Trump did not want that to happen, and we all know he was upset with Pence because Pence would not try to stop the certification, despite the fact that Pence admitted that he actually does not have that power. But guys, let me know in the comments what you think of all of this. Currently, we all know that riots broke out in D.C., and hundreds, if not thousands of people rushed the Capitol, which the Capitol building is where the Senate and the House convene. That's where Pelosi has her office. All the top congressmen have their offices there, and that's where they vote on bills. The Senate floor and the House floor is in the Capitol building. But of course, obviously, chaos broke out. Hundreds of people rushed the Capitol. Some of these people were being peaceful. Look at this man. I mean, he should not be in the Capitol building stealing. He looks like he's stealing a podium, but I mean, this guy does not look dangerous, right? But the problem is that a lot of these people were. Some of these people had knives, had guns, and gunfire did break out. Secret Service, it's been confirmed, shot a woman in the neck. Okay, guys, and it's not clear how she's doing. I mean, we're assuming she's probably not going to make it through that, but we're not sure yet. But again, we don't know if she was being violent. She might have been being peaceful and been caught in the crossfire. But unfortunately, when you rush the Capitol building, guys, I mean, all hell breaks loose. I mean, let's be honest here. If you rush the Capitol building, do not be surprised if Secret Service pulls guns on you, right? There's even pictures here. Let's take a look. There's a protester, if you look closely, behind that door. It's hard to see, but there's a protester right there. You can kind of see his face. And there's about 4 or 5 Secret Service officers pointing guns at him, right? I mean, what do you expect if you rush the Capitol building? But Trump supporters, we all know the emotion runs high. Trump really knows how to stoke up a crowd, and critics are criticizing Trump, obviously, basically saying this is his fault, right? And Biden even gave a speech a few hours ago basically blaming Trump and telling Trump that he needs to tell these people to calm down and this needs to end. But guys, let me know in the comments, do you blame Trump for this? Or do you think this is almost just a human nature type of situation? Or do you think it's justified? I mean, I think a small percentage of you would say it's justified, but most of us don't want violence, right? Most of us don't want people to get hurt. I mean, we don't want to see a picture of a man with a giant knife sitting in Pelosi's office, no matter how upset we are with her. I mean, here's a picture of people on the Senate floor wearing masks to protect themselves from gas because security used gas to try and fight off these protesters, tear gas. Here's someone with a Trump flag in the Capitol, someone who broke in. Here's again the man with a giant knife in Pelosi's office. Here is Secret Service with guns with silencers on them. These people have been detained. And you know what? A lot of people are criticizing this, and they're comparing it to the Black Lives Matter protests, right? So there was not as much security today as there were during those Black Lives Matter protests. Now, some critics are saying, you know what? That in itself is almost like a racist thing, because why do you have so much more security when black people are protesting, but not as much when there's white Trump supporters protesting, all right? That's not my opinion. This is what some critics are saying. So let me know in the comments what you think of that. But in any case, this is what's happening now. This man looks like he's being pepper sprayed as he jumps through a window in Congress. Look at this. Some of these people look like they're being peaceful. They're just standing around, right? This is on the Senate floor. These people are taking selfies. I mean, basically creating evidence to be arrested for this, right? I mean, we have to imagine this is at least a felony. I mean, a lot of these people are going to go to jail for a lot of time, right? But guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments. This is pretty unprecedented. Biden did give a speech basically denouncing this whole behavior, denouncing Trump. I mean, he used soft language. You know how Biden is. He kind of sugarcoats things. He's not a very derogatory person, but he's blaming Trump for this. Let's be clear. He's blaming Trump. And let me know in the comments if you agree. And the Capitol is on lockdown, and DC itself has implemented a 6 p.m. curfew until further notice, so people have to get the heck out of there. But there are still hundreds of people protesting. Now let's take a look and see how CNN and Fox News are covering this differently, right? Because as we all know that they both have their bias. CNN tends to lean Democrat and Fox News tends to lean liberal, right? So you'd think, hey, maybe CNN is slamming Trump and Fox News is almost kind of sugarcoating it, making it not look as bad. Well, let's take a look, guys. And don't worry, that stimulus update is coming. And I am going to tell you exactly when each state is paying the unemployment boost and exactly how to track your stimulus check and an update on that $2,000 stimulus check as well. So front page CNN, mob invades Capitol. Riot police use flashbang to disperse the rioters from Capitol Hill minutes before curfew, guys. So they could not get these people out of here. They had to use flashbang bombs to get these people out of here, guys. Let's see what else CNN had to say. Rioters breach Capitol as Congress certifies Biden's win. Of course, that was put on a halt. They did not certify that, but it is being reported that top Congress officials want to come back and certify those results tonight to make a statement, right? Because if they don't, in a way, these protesters would have gotten what they wanted. They've delayed the certification of the election results, right? Because they were supposed to do that today. They were supposed to have that done by now. It's been delayed. And at the time, Congress wants to rush back in and get this done tonight. It's unclear if that will happen. And personally, I would be surprised if that does happen tonight, right? With everything going on, there's still people in the Capitol rioting. CNN said, a citywide curfew for the D.C. area began at 6 p.m. The mayor announced the curfew earlier today after pro-Trump supporters rioted, storming the U.S. Capitol, where members of Congress were meeting to certify President-elect Biden's win. Now, okay, it looks like they're basically reporting the facts, right? I mean, they're using certain words like rioters. That's a little bit of a harsh word, but it technically is what they're doing. I mean, we'll see. Let's see what Fox News had to say if they're not using such harsh language. Protests turned deadly. Yikes. Front page Fox News. Woman shot during Capitol violence dies as curfew goes into effect. My God. Next steps in certification unclear. My goodness. Go home in peace. Trump addresses violence, maintains election was stolen. Okay, so I'm going to bottom line you here, guys. The main difference here, first of all, Fox News and CNN, they're both reporting the facts, right? There was riots. People broke into the Capitol. Someone got shot. Unfortunately, this woman passed away, and my prayers go out to her and her family. But the main difference here is CNN is almost kind of spinning it as if this is Trump's fault, right? Okay, Trump had the rally. Trump had the protest. Trump continues to stoke anger from his base. And CNN, bottom line, they're basically blaming Trump for this, right? Now, Fox News obviously don't. Fox News, the front page Fox News says, go home in peace. Trump is addressing violence but at the same time maintains the election was stolen. So almost kind of supporting Trump, saying, hey, you know what? Trump wants these people to go home. Again, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Of course, Fox News is being a little softer on Trump. But Biden, as I mentioned earlier, he held his speech a few hours ago, and he mainly is urging Trump to stop the violence, stop the negative rhetoric, and stop this divisiveness which Trump uses to his advantage. Because we all know, whether you like Trump or hate Trump, he uses divisiveness as a foundation to his campaign, right? He uses this emotional, this visceral reaction that he stokes from people to his advantage, right? And Biden knows that, and he's calling Trump out. So whether or not you like Trump, let me know in the comments. Do you think things have gone too far? Okay? Because I honestly think even Trump himself would say things have gone too far. A woman, my God, a woman has passed away, guys. And let's all take a second to just leave our thoughts out to her family. I mean, we don't know. This woman could have been completely peaceful, right? She could have just been in there peacefully protesting, but caught in a crossfire. But we'll have more details on that later, guys. But getting back to stimulus, we all know that those Georgia Senate runoff election results came back and Democrats won both. Pretty unexpected, right? I mean, a lot of people were hoping that would happen for the sake of stimulus. A lot of people that usually vote Republican voted Democrat this year in Georgia. And a lot of the reason is because of stimulus, because Mitch McConnell specifically and a handful of Republicans were blocking these larger $2,000 stimulus checks in the Senate for months, right? Of course, Pelosi and Democrats, they're not perfect either. They slowed down stimulus a lot too, right? So I'm not going to say it wasn't Pelosi's fault either. But recently, those $2,000 checks were blocked by Mitch McConnell specifically, right? So Democrats won both of those seats, meaning they completed their quote-unquote blue wave of this election cycle where they maintained control of the House. Now they control the Senate. And of course, Biden is inaugurated in a couple of weeks and they will control the White House, setting the stage for a massive stimulus package, right? Biden has promised, and he said the day of the election, he said that $2,000 checks will go out the door when Democrats win Georgia, right? So that happened, and we need to hold Biden to his word. We need to hold this man on your screen to his word. Biden, please keep your word to the good American people. And let me know in the comments, do you trust Biden? Do you think he's actually going to get these $2,000 checks approved? I'm going to talk about what exactly needs to happen in order for these checks to go out. Well, we all know that now Democrats control the House, control the Senate, control the White House. That's after January 20th, once Biden is inaugurated. So we're probably going to have to wait a couple of weeks for that to happen. But in the meantime, we should have a lot of updates on exactly what this next stimulus package will look like, right? Is it going to be a flat $2,000 check? Is it only going to be a $1,400 check, which kind of brings up that $600 that you're getting now to a $2,000? Is it going to include another massive stimulus like Biden has promised? Will we get $200 a month for those on Social Security? Will we get a $600 per week unemployment boost? Will we get student loan forgiveness, more mortgage forbearance, student loan forbearance, more money for rental assistance? Are we getting the whole package here, or will they just will they pass a quick standalone $2,000 stimulus check bill? It's not clear yet, but we should have a lot of clarity in the next few days on exactly what is expected to come once Biden is inaugurated. But just to clarify, even though Democrats control the Senate, they don't have a 100% surety of passing this bill, and I'll tell you why. Because Republicans can still filibuster, and most of us know that filibustering is basically a little trick that they can use to block things from happening. So essentially, Mitch McConnell could go to the Senate floor and just continue to debate continuously, and then another Republican could take the floor and debate for another 5 hours. And as long as they keep debating the bill, that is essentially filibustering the bill from being approved. And they can do this basically forever until Democrats give up, right? And it's happened before, and it's something that is likely to happen. And the only way to override a filibuster is with a 60 vote count on that bill, right? And we all know Bernie Sanders just last week, he tried to filibuster, right? He tried to do a filibuster on the defense bill, and he said, hey, we're not passing this defense bill until we vote on those $2,000 stimulus checks. And what did Mitch do? He said, we're doing a filibuster override, and he got those 60 votes because McConnell was able to get a handful of Democrats to then also vote with him to override that filibuster. So the question is, if Republicans filibuster, will Democrats have enough vote from Republicans to get to that 60 number they need to override that filibuster? And even if they can't do that, technically senators can change the law and reduce the amount of votes needed in order to filibuster. Now, that is a slippery slope because that goes both ways. And if Democrats do that, then that could bite them in the butt basically down the road, right? But we'll have to wait and see, guys. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm going to keep you updated on exactly what's happening with these $2,000 stimulus checks, Biden's plan for another massive stimulus package, what's happening with the negotiations, and what exactly will come to fruition with this next stimulus package. Also, I want to point out the fact that some people in Congress, some top congressmen, are calling for the impeachment of Trump. Some people want Trump impeached immediately, even though he only has 2 weeks left in office, okay? So this representative, Ilhan Omar, says that she is drafting articles of impeachment against President Trump. She said, "We cannot allow him to remain in office. It is a matter of preserving our republic," she said. And let's clarify, guys, will Trump get impeached? Probably not. Can he get impeached? Yes. Let's see what exactly needs to happen. Well, if she brings this bill to a vote, they need a 2/3 vote in the Senate to get Trump impeached, right? And right now, Democrats have 50 seats in the Senate, right? So they would need another 16 Republicans to then also vote to have Trump impeached, right? And I think we could safely say, they might be able to get 2 or 3 Republicans, maybe 4 or 5 at most, but could they get 16, right? Are Republicans over Trump? Is there going to be over a dozen Republicans who say, you know what? Trump he's at the end of his term. His 4 years are up in 2 weeks. We don't need him anymore. We don't want him back. Is there going to be a handful of Republicans that say that and say, you know what? Let's impeach the guy. Let's get him out of here. Guys, that's going to be a storyline. That it's going to come up, right? It's unlikely, but it's possible. And let me know in the comments what you guys think of this. Do you think Trump should be impeached? Obviously, she is essentially blaming Trump for the violence that's happening and wants to get him impeached because of this. Also, she's also criticizing him for those calls that happened in Georgia. We're all familiar with that, right? He tried to kind of pressure the Georgia officials to kind of change the results of the election, guys. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. All right, let's jump into stimulus, how to track your stimulus payment, when each state will be paying this unemployment boost, all right, as well as how to apply for that rental assistance money. Well, you all know that the only official website you should be using for this is irs.gov. Any other site could be a scam, guys. So please only use irs.gov to track your stimulus check. And if you already received your stimulus check, let me know in the comments. It seems like about a third of people have received them, at least just based off of the comments in my video. But go to irs.gov. Matter of fact, Google irs.gov space get my payments. This should be the first link that comes up. Again, only go to the irs.gov website. Now when you scroll down, it's open. You can click on get my payment. It's going to ask for your information, and it will tell you exactly where your stimulus check is in the process, guys. And the majority of people are expected to receive them by the end of this week. The end of next week, right? So it could take people up to 10 days from now, but use that website only to track your payments. Okay, let's talk about the unemployment boost, when you'll receive that $300 per week, depending on your specific state. Now, I have a list of every single state, if they've begun paying yet, and when they should be paying. Now, some states don't have estimated payment dates yet, so bear with me. I will have updates daily, so if your state does not yet have a payment date, just come back tomorrow, come back the next day. I'm going to keep you posted, okay? So Alabama and Alaska, we still don't have an estimated payment date. Arizona, they are starting this week, the week of January 3rd, so you should be getting your check sometime this week if you're in Arizona. Arkansas has not started. California began paying this week, but only for those who are active claimants with either regular unemployment or that FedEd extension. If you're not in those programs, you will be receiving your payment the week of January 10th, which is next week. Colorado has not begun paying yet. Connecticut is currently paying now, and claimants will begin receiving payments this week, the week of January 3rd. Delaware, D.C., and Florida have not begun paying yet. We still don't have estimated payment dates. Georgia began paying this week as well. Hawaii has not started paying yet. Idaho, they started paying this week as well as Illinois. Now, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, and Maine, we do not have estimated payment dates yet for any of these states. Maryland should be paying now as of January 5th. Massachusetts and Michigan have not begun paying yet. Minnesota have begun paying this week as well as Mississippi. Now, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, and New Hampshire, we still do not have estimated payment dates for any of those states. New Jersey, they should begin paying the week of January 10th. Again, New Jersey is always slow with these system updates, so you will not be getting your payments until next week if you're from New Jersey. New Mexico, we still don't have estimated payment dates. New York began paying this week as well. If you're from New York, let me know in the comments if you received your unemployment boost yet. North Carolina, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, we still don't have estimated payment dates for any of these states. Rhode Island began paying this week as well. South Carolina and South Dakota have not begun paying either. Now, I will tell you that I have had some people in the comments tell me that they received their payment in South Carolina. So some of this might not be 1,000% up to date, but this is exactly what the states are reporting, okay? So Tennessee began paying this week as well. They began paying on January 3rd. Now, Texas, Utah, Vermont, and Virginia have not begun paying yet, and we still don't have estimated payment dates. Washington, they will begin paying within the first 2 weeks. So we have a huge kind of range there. But anytime between now and January 15th is when you'll begin receiving your payments in Washington. Now, West Virginia, Wisconsin, and Wyoming still do not have estimated payment dates. So with that said, if you received your payments already, let us know in the comments what state you're from. It helps keep us updated on who's receiving their payments and who's not. And of course, these states send out these payments in waves. So some people from the same state will receive their payments later than others. Also, don't forget that some people qualify for that extra $100 per week unemployment boost. Basically, if you have a regular job and a side hustle, you might qualify, but you have to make at least $5,000 a year from your side hustle. And the best way to see if you qualify is to actually specifically call your unemployment office, because there is not going to be a lot of good information on this on their website. So don't forget to reach out to your unemployment office if you think you might qualify. Now, as far as rental assistance, I've gone over this a few times. I like to mention it at the end of almost all my videos because there was $25 billion in rental assistance included in this last stimulus package. However, there is little to no information on how the heck you apply. And that is because this is on a county by county basis. So I actually can't tell you how to do it in your specific county. All I can do is show you how to get to your own specific county's website. So what you're going to want to do is Google your county. So for example, my county is called Cook County. So I Googled Cook County rental assistance. And just like the tracker for the stimulus check, only use an official.gov website. So the first thing that comes up is cookcountyillinois.gov. So I clicked on that. That brings me to a landing page that says, what is the COVID-19 Recovery Rental Assistance Program? It walks me through how to apply, whether or not the application is open, and then how to be updated on whether or not my application was approved. So this is what you need to do for your own specific county, okay? There are thousands of counties out there. Nobody is going to have the information for you for each county. So all I'm doing is showing how to find your own specific county. Guys, but with that said, thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far into my video, thank you so much for supporting my channel. It really means the world to me. And you know what? With all the craziness going on, with the Capitol riots, with the stimulus checks being delayed, with the pandemic, just with so much happening this year, guys, I'm so happy that you've been here with me throughout this whole journey. I know a lot of you have been watching since I literally had 0 subscribers. We're about to hit 50K subscriber, guys, and I thank every single one of you for your support, guys. I truly mean it. Honestly, I'm going to be honest with you guys. My dream is to do this full time. I'm still working my full-time job, but if I can get to 100,000 subscribers, I'm going full-time on YouTube, guys. And just to be on here connecting with you all, hearing your stories, keeping you updated on what's happening with news, with stimulus, just with the economy in general, it's honestly my passion, guys. So thank you so much for supporting my channel, guys. Stay strong out there. Help is coming soon. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks again for everything, and have a great day.